What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emlyn Jade and I'm currently training for my first Ironman 70.3, which is coming up very soon. My race is on May 26th in Victoria, BC, and this is going to be my first triathlon. Now, we just finished, I don't even remember what week we're on, but we just finished a week of training, and overall I finished at an 86%. There are a few workouts that I had to skip and modify, and I'm not gonna lie, this week was really hard on me mentally. I can definitely tell just putting in all the hours for the past, I don't know how many months, is starting to take a toll on me, and just the constant focus on all the workouts has gotten me really tired. And it doesn't help that things outside of training also adds up to it, that not only does it impact me mentally but also physically. So this week I tried not to push so much to the point of burnout and injury, because that's happened to me before. Taking a look at this week, I finished off with my swim at 7.7 kilometers, the bike at 147 kilometers, and then the run at 33 kilometers. So you'll see in this video how things have impacted me mentally, how I tried to pull back, different areas where I tried to really hone in on my mental strength, and then how the overall training impacted me this week. We got our trisuit in the mail. We ordered it from 2XU. And it is I can't remember what Kian got.
Same.
Oh.
I got the same as you.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to get a different one.
I know, I changed my mind.
Oh, they're so thin. Yeah, so we both got the Lightspeed sleeve trisuit. It's apparently really good for long course racing. So.
Oh, it is thin.
Wow.
Super thin. Look.
See? You gonna try it on?
It fits.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if it doesn't.
I had to up a size.
What size did you get?
A large, I think.
I got a size medium. I looked up my measurements. Everything looked like it was gonna be a size small except for the waist. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play it safe and size up, and hopefully it fits me. I'm really hoping it's not super loose in one area of the body, but.
That should be fine.
Were you trying it on?
Yeah.
I still need to open mine.
That's what it fits.
That's what it looks like. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. We're gonna be matching. Yeah. Cute. I'm gonna try it on and hopefully this fits me okay. Okay, it's on. This is what it looks like. It's actually very cute. I've never realized I would actually love how a trisuit looks on me. But look at that. I was worried about the hip situation because everything else is really small. I'm a size small, but when it comes to the hips, it's a medium. So I ended up going a size up. I am wearing underwear underneath, so it's a little bit tighter. But yeah, no, I like it. The only thing is that it's a little loose in the quads, so I'm gonna have to work up my quads a little more. But yeah, no, I'm liking it. It's really thin, nice and light, so hopefully I'll be super aero in this trisuit. Ready. Good morning. So it is another week of 70.3 Ironman training, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been a rough start to the week. Not because of training, just outside of training has kind of been taking a toll on me mentally, so much that I've been in such a negative headspace. And I remember I was in this same mental headspace last September when I was going through some rough times in the corporate world. Surprise, surprise. And I remember I just pushed harder in training so much that I injured myself, and I just fell out of love with the sport. So I don't want to make the same mistake as I'm training. You know, we're approaching race day, about I think just over a month left. And so I want to make sure that I'm not pushing myself, because even though it's still a mental battle, it still impacts you physically. So I just got to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, focusing on the self-care things this week, and not pushing so hard, because I have a tendency to do that. I cannot afford having an injury at this time. That being said, I totally decided to take a rest day yesterday, so it looks like it's going to be another triple session day. Swimming was on the very light effort end. It was just focused on on technique, so that was okay. And then later today I have a brick session, but I'm going to make sure that the focus is going to be on the bike ride, which is an interval ride, and then I believe it's just a zone 2 easy run after. So I'm going to make sure I take it nice and easy and not push the pace during that run. I'm going to try and figure out a way to just calm myself and try and just get into a positive mindset, because yeah, I hate being in this mental space. It's not fun. It just brings everything else down in life. So I just got to find a way to pick myself back up again, and hopefully I'll be in a good space by the end of this week. So I am currently setting up my bike on the trainer because I am going to be doing some intervals today. The working set looks like it's going to be 3 minutes at a fast zone 5. This total is going to be about an hour of riding, and then after this I'm going to have a brick run that I think is going to be all in zone 2. Yeah, okay, great, thank goodness, because I am not looking forward to doing any race pace stuff right now. So I'm just gonna set this up, change, and get ready to go. Holy I am drenched. Okay, I just have a 5-minute recovery. Okay, let me try and catch my breath. I now have a 5-minute recovery spin before I move on to the next interval of 4 times 3 minutes above target race power. Since I got to practice fueling, I'm going to take a gel because I have a brick run after this, and especially if I'm doing hard effort workouts, I got to fuel so that way I don't bonk, because typically whatever happens before the run is what impacts the run. So got to make sure I stay energized, and the more I practice fueling, the better I'll be able to execute on race day. Time for a 30-minute brick run. I am back from my brick session. That was so tough. The ride itself, like, it was comfortably hard, if that made sense. Like, the intervals were hard. Like, I definitely had to push, but it wasn't like so hard that I needed to stand up or anything. Like, I was able to push while sitting down, so that was a good sign. Also realized I took a 160 gel, and that was a mistake, because typically when I take that, when it's close to my run, I start to get a side stitch, and that's what happened when I was on my run. I started getting all kinds of side stitches, particularly on the left side, and this actually happened to Keen as well. When he took the 160 gel, he just felt like it was too much, and I thought it would digest soon enough before my run, but I guess not. So I started feeling that. I'm going to try and take the 100 the next time I have a brick session like this and see if that works. Otherwise, I might have to skip out on it and just make sure that I eat enough before the rides. Besides the side stitch and the intense interval ride, it was okay. Like, again, it wasn't anything crazy. I made sure I wasn't pushing the effort in all my workouts, especially when I'm like mentally not in a great place, because again, the last thing I want to do is hurt myself. But yeah, so I think now I just want to like calm the body down. I haven't done mobility for a really long time, so I think that's something I need to do. I'm going to take some protein so that way all these muscles get replenished with the nutrients that it needs. Happy Wednesday. It is time to do a speed workout. I've got 70 minutes on the agenda today, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to this because it's raining and I don't have my headphones. So today is going to be testing me mentally and see if I can really hone in on my pacing and not be distracted by music. So this will be good practice and a good simulation of what it'll be like on race day. So this will either go really well or pretty horribly. I just finished both my speed workout and my strength session. Both were very hard. I don't know why I decided that I was gonna do no headphones for today's speed workout, but I think part of me was like, okay, I kind of want to simulate race day and see what it would like to run at a fast pace without headphones. I haven't done it in a really long time. I think the last time I did it was probably sometime last year. Kind of a struggle, but it did force me to focus on my breathing and just focus on the run, because typically when I listen to music, I kind of get distracted and get carried away and almost push myself faster than what the prescribed pace is, and that typically leads to burnout. So I did feel really controlled today despite it being pretty hard. The working set today was 15 minutes at target race pace, and then 10 minutes a little above target race pace, and then 25 minutes at tempo pace, which is just a little bit faster than my regular half marathon pace. And then I did a core and stability workout right after it, and I don't know why, but for some reason it was really difficult today. There was a lot of core work involved, lots of planks, lots of crunches, but you know, it's only gonna make me stronger, so I'm glad I did it. So now I'm just gonna have some protein and dinner and then shower, because I just smell like the outside. I totally forgot to mention that since I'm trying to nail my nutrition, I've been practicing with fueling in almost all my workouts, especially if they're longer than an hour. So my speed workout today was about 70 minutes, and since there was some hard effort involved, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and see if I can take in a gel. And instead of the 160 gel, I took the Morden 100 gel. I actually found that it worked a lot better on my stomach. I didn't have some side stitches, which was great, and it gave me enough energy. I took this at the 30-minute mark, which was great because that's when I had to pick up the speed. Kind of wish I brought another one, but at the 60-minute mark, I was like, well, I only have 10 minutes left, so it's not like I need another one, but I could definitely feel like I was fading the last like 5 minutes of that workout portion. But I do think keeping to the 100 is a lot better on the stomach than the 160, especially when it comes to runs. So now I'm gonna have some protein. I usually just mix this protein powder with some water. I usually just take a scoop, which I think is 25 to 30 grams of protein, and I usually take this after a workout to make sure that my muscles have the nutrients to recover. And I actually don't know what brand it is, but Kian, my partner, usually is the one that's in charge of ordering all the protein and creatine and all those supplements. I just kind of follow along with what he does and tells me. Good morning. So I just did a quick yoga flow. I feel like I haven't done this in a really long time, and this week just showed that I really needed it. Not just because for mobility, but also just to like slow myself down mentally and just kind of focus on the present, because I have this tendency to just kind of go, and everything seems like it's just urgent, and my mind just gets so overwhelmed that I forget to take a step back and just breathe. Today I was like, you know what, I need this because it helps me mentally and just kind of calms me down, but also helps me physically, you know, trying to keep my aging body more limber, especially now that we're getting closer to race day. I just finished a swim. Clearly the goggle marks are so strong today, but you know, whatever, I got the swim done. It was a little hard, I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely pretty tired going into this, and I feel like it's been a while since I've done what this swim workout is titled Steady Swim, where the distances is a bit longer, which I haven't been on top of the past couple weeks. I've really only done the technique focused swim and then what we call a main swim, and I feel like the main swim right now is focused on very like short bursts, high intensity effort swims, whereas the steady swim is more of like I'd probably compare it to like a zone 3 bike ride or even like a slow long run. So yeah, I haven't done that in a while, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going way too fast. Like for example, there was one where I had to do 2 sets of 500. The first set I'm like, uh-oh, I think I did this way too fast, and then by the second set I was like, shit, I totally gassed out. But it's okay, even though it was slower, it wasn't that much slower. But lesson for next time, don't go out too fast. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to practice that, because like every race, everyone has a tendency to go out fast, and I hear that the swim in Ironman is no exception, especially when there's so many people around you. Adrenaline is just pumping and you really want to like get through everyone. So this is another scenario where I have to practice of like just stay calm and just focus on yourself and don't try and catch up to other people. Glad I went. I feel like swimming compared to like bike and running, it's not as intense obviously, but it really makes you focus on just kind of staying cool, calm, and collected, and really just like focus on your technique, because if you try and brute force your speed, like you're just not gonna get far. Since it is Friday, that means I am prepping all my fuel for tomorrow's long ride and run session. So I've got my template of my nutrition from like weeks ago when I was going through precision hydration. If you haven't taken a look at that video, you can take a look here. I talk about how I use precision hydration, calculates like how much sodium you need, how much carbs you need in order to sustain your effort for, you know, whatever race it is, whether it's a marathon or a triathlon, and in my case it is practicing for a half Ironman. So I've taken a look at this, and I'm starting to get used to, you know, how many carbs I need every hour, and I'm just going to repeat what I did last week because I feel like that worked really well for me. And so what I did last week that I'm repeating is the PB&J sandwiches. And this time around, I decided to cut them up into square pieces. Last time I cut them into like long halves so that I could eat it kind of like a hot dog. I found as I was riding, I was like opening up the bag with my mouth and trying to get the like long piece of sandwich out of the bag to eat it. Whereas this time around, it'll be open, and then all I have to do is just get like these square pieces, and hopefully that'll be easier. And then for the next couple hours, I'm going to be doing the morning gels. I'm doing the gel 160 and the gel 100s because together they add up roughly around 60 grams of carbs. So that worked really well for me. And then just in case I'm taking an extra Morning Gel 100s, I'm taking 2 in case I need to take one during transition and then another one during my run, because I believe there's race pace effort. I might not need it, but you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. And then to break up all like the sweet stuff, I am having some salty snacks, which are the pretzels. And this is really just gonna complement it throughout the entire ride, so that way I'm not getting sick of all the sugary stuff that I'm eating. And altogether this adds up to about 225 carbs, which is actually over the amount that I need to take, which is 210. But again, likely I'm not going to eat all the pretzels. This is really just to kind of break apart the sugary stuff that I have here, but the goal is to eat at least half of this. So if I can get through it, then great. If not, well, I guess we'll see how it goes during the run. And then in terms of sodium and hydration, I'm going to be taking these 2 750 ml water bottles, and then I'm going to put 2.5 Noon tablets, 1 caffeinated and then 1 non-caffeinated, just in case, you know, I need the energy later down the session. It's looking like it's not going to be super hot tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be cloudy with rain, so likely I don't need as much hydration. I think for fuel, I'm good to go. We are actually going to go to the island, which is where the course is going to be, Montana, and then another friend, Kenzie, she's tagging along with us, and we're actually going to check out the course and see what the hills are really like, just to give us some peace of mind. So that's going to be really fun. We're actually going to be meeting up early and then taking the ferry over and then biking around part of the course, at least like the harder part, so we can get the idea. So I just got back from my run meetup only to go out and run again. I ran about 45 minutes with Run Club, but I am scheduled to do 2 hours worth of running today. I'm gonna be deviating from the run only because I'm feeling a little low energy wise, and because I ran with the Run Club, obviously it's gonna be a 2-part run. So since I got 45 minutes out of the way, my plan is to get in my race pace work in for my solo run. It's gonna be a 15-minute warm up, and then I'll go straight into 40 minutes at race pace. In total for today's run, including my run meetup, is gonna be about an hour and 40 minutes. So we're gonna be 20 minutes short from the 2-hour prescribed work today. But you know, since I'm feeling on the low end, I don't think 20 minutes is really gonna make a big difference or a big dent in my fitness. So I'm just gonna take a gel to give myself a boost of energy and then put some shoes on and just get this run over and done with. A weekend of training is finally done, and I had such a hard time documenting the entire time because I was so tired. There was definitely some hard lessons learned. The first one being Saturday. We actually checked out the course that we were going to do for race day, which is on the island. And so we took the ferry to get there. The course wasn't as bad as I expected. That big climb that I was expecting to be super hard actually wasn't. So that's great. But other than that, the course is rolling. It's actually very rolling. It's like as soon as you go downhill, there's an uphill, and then downhill, like it just is never ending. There's definitely some sections where it's flat, but yeah, for the most part, it's rolling. But I think the biggest lesson from Saturday was I did not fuel enough. Even though I prepped all my fueling for the ride itself, I didn't take into account the travel time to and from the island. So the ferry ride was actually an hour and a half, and I didn't have my usual breakfast when I woke up because I had to wake up really early and I was kind of rushing to get to the ferry. I think I only had oatmeal to start, and then I only had like one slice of sourdough cut in half with peanut butter and banana. So I don't think that really gave me enough fuel for the ride to begin with. I also didn't realize that even though it wasn't sunny or super warm, I was actually putting a lot more effort since the course was rolling. Usually when I'm riding here in Vancouver, it's usually flat. Not that much effort is being put forward compared to the ride I did on Saturday. So I definitely could have taken more salt and electrolytes to help retain the water because yeah, I was sweating quite a bit. Could have eaten more. We did stop somewhere in Sydney just before we were going home, but for some reason I didn't order more food. And looking back, I should have, because by the time I was on the ferry going back home, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm done. I don't think I can do the brick run. And then by the time Kian picked me up, thankfully he picked me up, we had to charge the car, so that took another half hour. I got some Subway to like get back all the food and nutrients that I've lost during the workout, but I was like, there is no way that I'm gonna do this brick run. And there was some race pace work in there, and on top of that, it was pouring by the time I got back to Vancouver. So I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna do that brick run. So I just ended up eating, trying to get the energy back, and then that ended my Saturday. The total distance that we rode ended up being around 76.8 kilometers with an elevation of 687 meters, and the total time it took me was 3 hours and 26 minutes. It varied a little bit from my friends. I think some of them had like 700 to 800 meters of elevation. So there was definitely something wonky going on with my watch, but I'm pretty happy with how the ride went overall. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be like on race day. So then on Sunday, I was scheduled for a long run, and I was scheduled for 2 hours, and typically I can run a half marathon within 2 hours, and I was like, I do not want to run another half marathon. Thankfully, I actually had a meetup with my run club, so I met up with them and we got in about 6K at a very easy effort. And then after that run, we had some coffee, we chatted for a little bit, and then Keen was done his long run, so we decided to go back home. Part of me really wanted to skip the rest of the run, but I was like, hey, you know what? I didn't run the day before, so I'm going to just get this run in. And so I ended up fitting in the rest of my run. Mentally, I could tell that I was just tired from the whole weekend, and it took me a really long time to kind of focus on my run. Like if I listened to my body, I actually could tell my body was really strong and was able to keep up with the run, and I actually probably could have ran longer and farther, but it honestly was that mental effort. Like I was just so tired up here that it could not keep up with the rest of my body. But overall, like the race pace part of that run actually felt really good. My fitness is there. It's just mentally I'm not. That being said, I'm looking forward to this upcoming down week just to give myself some time to like relax and just catch up with everything and replenish the body with all the nutrients that's ready to come back stronger the following week for the next build. I think there's just a few more longer sessions and then we taper off and then it's race day. So that concludes this week of workouts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a later one. Bye!